Happy Friday morning, October the 29th, 2021, 8 a.m. on the East Coast, 5 a.m. on the West Coast. That means it's time for me and you, my friend, to Just Talk Life, presented by your friends at
Elite Realty Group.
Big show.
On today,
Big show. I got it right here. You missed it.
Oh, yeah.
So you had your opportunity and you missed it
Forgot.
right there. Again, glad you guys are with us on this Friday morning. We've got some good stuff to talk to you about today, man. We've got some good things talking about the number one thing that takes us all out of this good world, man, and that's stress. We're going to fix it today, right here.
If we can fix it,
we're going
we
with
might
it.
get paid today.
I think that we can. I think between me, you, and everybody else that's going to participate with us today, I think we can come up with
I hope so.
total 100% fix for this thing called stress. We're going to be talking to you today about common stressors, multiple,
I
because
just looked
there's
at
a
the
lot
first
of them.
two, and they're great.
It's great. That's right. We're going to be talking about common stressors in life, actually how to cope with them, how to deal with them, how to address them, because that's something that we all need to make sure that we do is take care of that in our life. I just had this conversation with somebody yesterday, and so I don't have a clue if that's what led us to this today or not, but that's where we're landing.
Okay.
It's to talk about stress this morning. Again, glad you guys are with us wherever you're tuned in around the world. Hopefully our California Floridians are...
They're awake, man.
They're ready to go today. You know what I'm saying? Up in New Hampshire, Delaware, all those places up there. Hopefully you guys are going to tune in with us today. We've got some good stuff for you.
Maybe
this
it's snowing
morning.
up there. Who knows?
You never know. That's the truth. Every time we go live, you guys show up and show out. You help us literally spread this show around the world between this, our podcast, our daily videos, everything that we do and put out for you guys. The content that you consume is literally unbelievable when you start looking at it and you look at the numbers and the things that you guys help us to do. We could not do what we do without you. We just get to come here and talk. You guys do all the work. From your likes, your shares, your invites, your comments are one of the biggest things that you can do to help us out. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all those places that we are, they see there's interaction, they see there's people commenting on these videos, and they push them out to a whole lot more people because when you come to their platforms, they want you to come there and stay.
So that's why we like for you guys to comment.
That's why we like for you to speak to us, man. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but we like to talk to you, and this show right here is one that it kind of seems like maybe we are bad on the other shows and we don't give you enough opportunity and time to comment.
Right.
But on this one right here, it seems like you get up with it and you go with it. So,
well, again, this one we're kind of talking about stuff that every one of us deal with
it's common.
every day of our life.
It's common.
So
yes,
it's
100%.
really easy to talk about. So again, we ask you today to comment, give us. We're going to be talking about some good stuff that you guys are, I'm sure, going to be able to put some good input on. But we also want you to like the video, share the video, invite people to come watch this video with you. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for others.
Yes.
So as many people as we can get on here watching today, jump in and put their input in. It's going to help us tremendously. Luke Wagner over here on mine says, good morning. Good morning, Luke.
Good morning, Luke. Glad that you are here with us, my man. Again, when you come on the show today, give us a good morning. Give us a shout out. If you would like to let us know where you're watching from, that would be a wonderful thing. Also, you can tell us where you are tuned in around the world today. Let us know that. We're talking about today common stressors, how to cope with them, that we all deal with in life. And I'm telling you, everything that we talk about here today, it's going to be one of those, let's all raise our hand and say, this is definitely applying to me today, because they're common and they're highly common. And when you start talking about stress, how it affects us and all those things, we're going to dive deep into that this morning. So again, give us some shout outs. We want to give you guys some shout outs. Dave's monitoring the feed today on our company page. He's going to give some shout outs. Let us know who's here this morning again. So get those good mornings coming out. Give us some hearts. Give us some loves. Give us some likes today. And let's get this thing going. Who we need to shout out this morning before we go?
Good morning. Nicole says good morning, y'all.
Good
Grandma
morning.
Rose says good morning, guys.
Good morning,
Man, I'd like to
Grandma.
see her, wouldn't you?
I would too, man.
I'd love to see her. Let's see. Mitch Welcome says, watching from the farm. Elvis says good morning.
Good morning, Elvis.
Again,
Grandma
Luke
Rose
Wagner.
is going to tell us to get in the car and come and see her. I can already
is,
tell you exactly what she's going to say. That's going to be the reply back. So we're going to have to make some time to do that. So again, glad that each and every one of you are here this morning. Make sure you get your friends, family, cohorts, your enemies. Bring them in right here, because they're calling stress on your life today. We're going to tell you how to deal with them people.
Kathy Arterburn says, hey, y'all.
Good morning, Kathy.
That's
Glad
hot
that you are here today. Let's get rolling, okay? Here's what we're talking about. How to cope. I like the how-tos.
Oh, I love how-tos.
I love the how-to shows that we do. We're going to talk about how to cope with common stressors, okay, in our life. Who can raise their hand this morning and say, every now and then, I don't have it a whole lot,
Right.
but every now and then, I deal with a little bit of stress.
See, some of this stuff, it ain't stuff you deal with all the
it's
time.
not like totally there all
But
the
it
time.
is stuff that we all deal with.
I'm with you on this.
Each and every day
I'm
in
with
some
you.
kind of way. Jeremy Williams says, hey, from Harlan County, Kentucky.
Harlan County, Kentucky is in the house. Glad that you are here with us, Jeremy. Let's talk about stress first. Let's set the stage and then go with it, okay? Here's what we know about stress. Now, I am not a doctor. I only play one on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all those places.
I consider myself a doctor.
Well, I will
Just
be
so you
one of
know.
these days.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know I'm working toward my doctorate, okay? I'm working toward it. So here's what I'm going to say about it. Here's some research I did this morning. Up early, man, okay?
Okay.
Doing a little research for this show. We put in the work here today, okay? But here's what we know about stress. Here's what the Google says
The
about
Google.
stress. The Google, yeah.
Never wrong.
Ain't that what President Bush called it? The Google?
The Google,
I
yeah.
think so. So here's what it says. Stress, all right? Here's what stress can lead to. So here's what we're going to talk about how to cope with it today. It can lead to physical symptoms including headache, upset stomach, elevated blood pressure, chest pains, and problem sleeping. Now, I don't like any of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like any of them.
I suffer from a lot of them.
I do too. I got headache, upset stomach. I don't right now that I know of. Let me knock on wood here. I don't think I got elevated blood pressure. Chest pain, check that one off, okay? Problem sleeping, check that one off. But that's what stress can lead to in our life. And a lot of times we're like, I can't sleep and I don't know why. You know what I mean? I feel on edge all the time. It's stress that's on our life.
It is.
Here's some other things that I thought was really interesting when I looked at stress. 43%, okay? 43% of all adults suffer adverse health effects from stress.
Okay.
Now, check this one. This one's the one that blew my mind. 75 to 90% of all doctor's visits, they're stress-related ailments and complaints.
I believe it.
They're stress
believe
for
it, yeah.
75 to 90% of all doctor's office visits are for stress-related ailments and complaints. Stress can play a part in all the things: depression, asthma, arthritis, anxiety.
Really?
Who knew that? You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Who knew that? All of those things. Think of this. OSHA. Okay?
Okay.
We've been talking about OSHA a lot.
you know who
okay?
OSHA is,
Yeah,
right?
Occupational Safety and Health Administration
that's the ones that
declared stress a hazard of the workplace.
This is true.
Stress costs the American industry more than $300 billion
That's a
annually. The lifetime prevalence of emotional disorder is more than 50% due to chronic stress. Means we're losing our mind. You know what I'm saying? Like we're
There's
losing
a lot
our
of
mind.
us, it
because
sounds
of
like
it.
that's losing their mind.
So who can say this morning that we deal with some stress in our life? Okay, I'm going to say 75 to 90% of us on this can definitely say that we deal with stress. Here's where we're going to go. How to cope with common stressors in our life. We're going to talk about common ones, okay?
Yeah.
And how that we can deal with them in our life. Like, share, invite, comment on the video. Episode 75 of Just Talking Live, presented by your friends at
Here, Elite Realty Group.
Glad you're with us. Anybody else we need to shout out before we talk about these common stressors?
Jan says good morning.
Good morning,
I think someone
Jan.
over here that I missed. Grandma, she did say we better make time for her.
We better.
Siobhan says good morning.
It's causing me stress right now because I'm not.
It
Okay,
is.
here we go. Let's talk about common stressors this morning. Here's number one. I'll go with number one, all right? And then you can go with number two. One of the most common stressors in our life today, 100%, okay, is workplace stress. All right?
Yes.
I can say that I have to deal with this a whole lot because I deal with you in the workplace.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
It's
just
true.
kidding.
I'm here. Yeah.
I'm just kidding on that. But workplace stress is literally one of the number one causes of stress for everybody.
Yes.
Who again can raise their hand and say, deal with that sometimes. Okay, you know what I'm saying? You all should have saw.
Every realtor in the world who's watching right now, both hands went straight
Yeah,
up.
we're all like going, that's me.
Yeah.
But it's not just our industry,
It's not,
okay?
no.
It's a lot of different industries that you say because it's literally just workplace stress,
Right.
all right? Like a lot of people deal with workplace stress. It's things that you get an overload, you work for a crazy person. You know what I'm saying?
We
But
all-
this
all-
right here says workplace stress is the most common stressor in life for many people. It can be from tensions with coworkers or a boss, work overload, simply nature of the work, such as, could you think of this, being in law enforcement?
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about stress, man.
Yeah.
If you're in that this morning, but whatever the case, there are things we can do to reduce our workplace stress that we can do.
We can do the things that we can control.
Yes, and that's what I think is important, because there's going to be things that happen that you and I have literally zero control over.
True.
Okay, and it's going to cause stress. There's nothing that we can do about it. But there are things that we can do that can help us control workplace stress. I'm going to give you some of those ideas, and then let's me and you talk about them, okay? Here's the first thing that this says. And I think it's an important one, and we've talked about this on many different levels, okay? From our motivational show to our real estate show to this show. But dealing with workplace stress can be helped by you. You can do something about it by getting your day started off right.
Yeah.
Starting your day right, okay? Yeah. Some of us, that could involve getting up a little bit earlier. Some of us, that could involve doing things the night before that we wait to the morning of to do. You know what I mean? Getting the clothes laid out, getting the lunches made for the kids, getting everything in order so we literally can get up and we're not running around like a chicken with our head cut off of the morning. A lot of times we're stressed out before we ever get to work.
So we kind of discussed this before.
We're blown out.
A lot of times it's up and we're having to rush right off the bat.
Absolutely.
So the day's already started out completely crazy. We have no choice but to be crazy that day. We started out the whole day crazy.
It's haywire. You know what I'm saying? It's like pure chaos before we literally ever get to work. Then when we show up at work, ain't nothing going to be right because we're out of our mind before we ever get there.
Right.
We're talking today about common stressors, how to deal with those, how to cope with those, okay? And one of the biggest stressors is workplace stress. This says start your day off right. I'm telling you folks, and this is game changer. It is literally game changer. If you can just get up a little bit earlier before you got to get things going. I was not a believer in this.
Right.
Like, I wanted to get every minute of sleep that I could get, okay?
And you still can. You just got to go to bed earlier.
I just got to go to bed a little bit earlier, okay? Got a text last night at 11:30 wanting to do some business. I was in the bed. You know what I'm saying? My phone was off. I was in the bed. That wasn't the time for me to do it. I was already okay. It's okay to turn your phones off. It's okay to go to bed a little bit earlier. But again, getting up a little bit earlier in the morning can literally help us reduce a lot of stress during the day. I'm telling you, my 5 a.m. of the morning wake-up calls that I get from my own alarm clock, because I've chosen to get up there. I usually get up an hour or so on most days prior to anybody in my house getting up, prior to anything happening, anything going on. It's that time when it's literally just silence. You know what I'm saying? There's silence. There ain't really nobody bothering me. They ain't nothing going on. They ain't nothing happening. Those are things that can kind of calm the storm before it ever gets to going.
True.
And I can get myself in the right mindset. So the first thing this says in dealing with workplace stress is start your day off right. Okay? Start your day off right. Second thing is know exactly what's expected of you at work.
I think this is a big one.
Get some expectations of what am I supposed to be doing? Like, what's my job?
Yeah, that's where the stress comes in. If you don't really know what is expected from you.
No.
That's where it gets really stressful. And a lot of times it's a very easy solution. It's always a very easy solution. Ask.
I was going to say, is it a question and an answer?
Yeah. All you got to do, that is the way you avoid that. Because again, a lot of times we don't know what is expected from us.
True story.
So, you know, we're worrying. A lot of times, we talk about this a lot. People worry themselves to death about something that ain't even really true.
No, it's not even the real thing.
Because they're just
but in their
mind. In their mind, it's something that is a major ordeal. And if they would just take 2 seconds and ask,
I'm with you.
They could eliminate that. They've stressed a half a day.
Absolutely.
And you're like, you ain't got to deal with that, man.
Of things that, again,
that ain't even your problem.
Keep it in perspective here. We're talking about in our workplace.
Right.
And a lot of people have been in their workplaces for a long time. You've been there for a while. But yet those unknown things that we don't really know about, they cause a lot of stress for us. You know what I'm saying? When sometimes it would literally just be we could sit down and have a conversation and say, hey, let's define this to make sure
what exactly is expected?
that I'm just doing what is right. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a good employee. I want to be a good worker. I want to be a good thing. And it causes that unnecessary stress that's there for all of us, and we deal with it. So we're talking about first how to cope with common stressors in life. Workplace stress is a big one. Who deals with that? Let us know. Give us some comments in the box there. Let us know, do you ever deal with that? This says start your day off right. Know what's expected of you. And here's the third one, and I think it's a big one. Stay organized, okay?
Yeah.
Are you that person that's always running around thinking, where is this? Where is that? Oh my goodness, where did I put that paperwork? What did I do with this? I can't find my phone. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't get a hold of nothing. And like we're totally unorganized in our workplace environments. That can lead to injury. That can lead to stress. That can lead to anxiety. It's just because we don't know where the screwdriver's at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We can't find it.
Self-imposed.
Absolutely.
Is what I like to think
There's
about.
no doubt.
When it's organized, if it comes down to something that you're not organized, and that's what's causing stress, listen, that's self-composed.
Sure.
You can fix that.
There's no doubt.
It's very easy to fix that.
I'm with you on this.
Take a day if you have to.
I need to go there and organize my desk.
It's going to make your life a lot easier when you know where your stuff's at.
But my desk is out of control, but I know where everything's at.
Well, a lot of people's like
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But still, I think we all can say getting organized, just getting a little bit organized, getting things a little bit more in order can cause some less stress for us. Could you imagine, man, like, working in, we're kind of lucky here at the job that we do. Like, there ain't someone like looking at us 90% of the time right in front of us and like, I've got to find my screwdriver and fix this right at this moment.
Right.
But could you imagine being in some of those high stress environments where like literally if you don't have the right tool, you don't have the right mechanism to do your job right, it could be a big safety health hazard to you and everybody else around.
Yes.
That could be like, you talk about stress, man, I would be losing my mind at that point because again, I just don't have the things right. So we're talking to you today about how to cope with common stressors. Number one stressors, workplace stress, the environment that we're in, how to deal with those, how to handle that, how to calm that in our life. This is episode number 75 of Just Talking Life, presented by your friends at
Realty Group.
Like, share, invite, comment on the video. Give us some things that might cause a little bit of stress in your life and how you cope with them. Don't be afraid. Put it in the box.
Mark Kane says, I will only say good morning. I've dealt with a level of stress so long it seems normal to me.
That's a lot of people, Mark.
People,
I'm with you 100% on this.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that stress is a common theme in a lot of our lives. It's there. And it's very real.
I guess so often what Mark just said, we are so stressed that all the time it's our normal. We don't know what it's like to not be stressed.
No.
We don't know that.
No. But wouldn't you like to?
Yeah.
When you really sit down and you think about it, you think, man, I'm about to lose my mind. You know what I'm saying? I think we've all had those thoughts.
Yeah.
I can't deal with this anymore because of stress that is brought on of things that maybe we're letting happen. Let's let our minds this morning go to, what if that was gone?
Right.
All right. What if I could deal with it better? I'm not going to say we're totally going to remove it because again, there's going to be unknown things
Well, there's
that
always
we
things,
cannot control.
the outside things that we
But the things that we can control, I've heard it a lot, and it's really, really a big thing that I try to apply. But control the controllables.
Yes.
Control the controllables. What you can't control, you can't control. But what you can control it. Take advantage of it and do what you need to do. That's number one. Give us number two. I was 20 minutes
Yeah,
on
but
that.
my favorite one you missed here.
What?
Is stay away from unnecessary
I didn't
conflict.
see that one. Sorry,
That's
man.
that's
with
the
it.
best one.
I love it.
This is my favorite one to talk about.
Go with it.
It is because, so stay away from unnecessary conflict. What's that mean? We are putting our nose in places where they should not be.
Yeah, I should have talked
We
about that.
are self-imposing. Again, this is where the drama comes in. Everybody knows you got the
Workplace
drama. That
Yeah.
is the number one stress-related thing. People are all the time going around talking about this, talking about that. If you just take yourself out
Right.
of that scenario, don't
Sure.
let yourself get wrapped up
Right.
in the workplace drama. And it's real. I don't care if you who you working with.
No.
The workplace drama is there. I've worked in factories where there's men and women and there's drama. I've worked on a railroad where it's 99% men. There's drama there. I've worked in the coal mines. I've done real estate. Drama is always there. Take yourself away from the drama. It will relieve you from stress automatically.
Do you know what we do a lot of times? We all have stresses, okay? We all have these things. I'm talking about in a workplace now. Everybody's dealing with all kinds of different stuff. We're all at different places. We're all dealing with different things. But do you think that a lot of times we do let people bring their stresses?
We do.
And I'm going to call it stresses, but we let people bring that, and then they bring it into me and you, and then we jump in on it too.
Right.
And we end up getting stressed for ourselves.
Right.
So I think that you're right on this. Stay away from it.
Well, listen, and a lot of times it's not because, let me back up for a minute. It ain't because we're sticking our nose in something that we're not.
That's what I was getting with. That's what I was going.
Sometimes it's because somebody comes to us.
Yeah.
Okay? And we might really be trying to help them in the situation that they're dealing with. But now we've shouldered their stress as well.
Right.
We've shouldered their burden, and we're allowing that, something that don't even really belong to us,
Right.
affect us.
But I'm going to go deeper here just for a minute.
Okay.
Don't you think that sometimes we let somebody else who's got a beef maybe with somebody in our workplace? Right? So I've got a beef with you. Mm-hmm. I don't really like you because the way you treat me and you hollered at me when I come in this morning or whatever, and I'm ticked off at you. But then I go to somebody else, all right, and I start yakking.
Right.
And then I'm going to be the somebody else for a minute, for a second here, though.
Okay.
That somebody else who never even had a beef with you, right, now does because somebody else. So again, stay away from that. Unnecessary conflict causes a whole lot of stress. Give us number two.
Number two is, I mean, make sure somebody's.
We're preaching this morning, man, on this. I just want you to know that. Okay, we're going with it today.
My number two is big in here, financial stress.
Big.
Okay, financial stress. I'm just going to read this right here for a minute. Then we'll talk about what it says. Finances are another of the common stressors in life. We worry about paying the rent, a mortgage, car loans, utilities, and food. We also worry about investments, especially if we're nearing retirement. We may think that simply having more money will make these worries go away, but it isn't necessarily so. Even wealthy people, we've talked about this before, they worry about their finances. Here's our suggestions of what we could do. Okay, number one is, this is a good one, but you need to live within your means.
I think it's the biggest thing.
This is one of the biggest ones.
It's the biggest.
If you control this right here, everything else kind of controls itself. So many times we do, though, because you got to think about it. We spend more. Dad has told me this I remember when I first started working, I think 16-year-old, when I worked up there at Williams gas station. You'll spend what you make.
Yes. Most people will.
Most people spend what they make. If they make $10 an hour, if they make $200 an hour, they start spending their money.
Right.
When you really got to stop that and start working on yourself. You got to pay yourself.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So many times people don't do that. They spend all of their money. They are completely broke. They live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Because they're not living within their means. When you could buy groceries, now some may argue this point, but it could be a valid point right now. But sometimes you need to skip that steakhouse dinner and you need to go eat off the dollar menu.
Sure.
But we can't, because we want to flash and we want to show, that we're doing good in our life.
We want to keep up with everything else.
Keep it up with the Joneses.
Sure.
Exactly. So if you break away from those things and live within your means, again, this is true. I told somebody this just the other day. It was a younger person I was talking to about a house, and I was telling them, they was talking about getting a loan and stuff, getting a mortgage, and I said, those people are kind of picky.
Sure.
I said, but these people are not like credit card companies, okay?
Right.
Credit card companies give you this money. They want to charge you 30% interest. They want you to get yourself eyeballs deep in debt.
Sure.
This is, so be careful of those things, though, because again, that's one of those things now we've spent our money. Now we're getting credit cards, and before you know it, man, we're in a hole that we can't see no way out of.
No, they're not.
So if you live within your means, and again, that's different for each person.
Right.
That's different for each and every one of us. We all make different money, but live within your means. That helps you tremendously. Number two thing you can do is educate yourself on those things. Again, doing some research. You've got Google. We talked about the Google.
Google.
Do some research on those things. Get some ideas from people who they're professionals in those fields. Sure. They're experts. Go do some research. Educate yourself on the ways that you can do it. And then last thing you can do is ask for help.
Yeah.
Again, it's
Talk
not
somebody
it's
smart.
not it's not nothing to be embarrassed about.
No.
That you need to ask somebody, hey, I'm in this situation.
That's right. There are a lot of people out there that can help with that. By
A lot of people that can help.
Yeah, Luke does. Luke does mortgages, financial. He knows a lot of things about that. But just having a conversation with someone like that that's a professional.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they do every day.
Right.
And trust me, I think Luke would say this. They're welcome. Conversations with them are welcome.
Oh, yeah.
To try to give their knowledge to you. You look at it and you say, again, a lot of people think debt and credit cards and things like that, or you'll hear a lot of people say stay away. Now, I'm not going to show my ignorance and jump into all that, but
I'm not
I will tell you, there is some things out there that's good. For example, I have this particular card that pays me well to put stuff on it. Now, I live within my means and I pay that card off at the end of the month, so I'm not carrying a debt. Whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent, that's what I do. But I get cash back, I get these things, I get all of that stuff that you look at and you say, that to me is doing it the smart way. You know what I'm saying? If you're going from an 8% mortgage to a 3% mortgage, that's a smart thing to do.
Pretty smart move.
And you know what I'm saying? A lot of people think that there are things out there that financially you can do, programs that are out there that are meant to help you, but we're afraid to have that conversation. True. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid. You know what the worst thing they can say? We can't help you. Well, you already think that anyway.
Right, yeah.
So go ahead and have the conversation to say, hey, could I do better for myself? But this financial, I'm going to jump back to workplace stress. This is why so many people have a lot of workplace stress too. They're stuck in jobs that they hate, working for people that they hate, because they've got this, they're not living within their means.
Right.
And now you're literally stuck all the way around. You talking about some stress.
That's
dude.
when the stress starts setting.
That's when it just begins to heap and pile. And we begin to do things that we shouldn't be doing, which leads me into our next one, and the last one is health-related stress.
Yes.
Because stress will cause you to do a lot of things. I'm not going to use it'll cause you to do a lot of things that are not good for you. Whether that's overeating, whether that's indulging in things that we shouldn't be, whether that we're going to try to relieve that stress somehow.
Right.
Okay? And when you start talking about our health and health-related stress that we deal with, and we think, man, if I could just get away from this, we start partaking in things that are not good for us.
Yeah.
And it causes health-related stress. Again, this says live a healthy lifestyle. Know the risk of things that you're getting ready to do or put in your body or do on those things, because it's true. Okay, it's 100% true. Health-related stress, and I think you can go ahead, and it's the time of what we're living in right now. Lord, we're not even going to go down run that rabbit, but health-related stress on what do I do, how to take care of myself right now, it's a massive thing that's out there. Those are things that can cause big-time stress, but I'm telling you, by not taking care of ourselves, not doing the right thing, putting the wrong things in our body, all right, using crutches of stuff that's not good for us to try to deal with stress, it just makes these other things worse.
Yeah.
All right, because maybe you develop a habit in a health-related part that starts leading to your financial part, that now starts affecting your work part, and you could see how we start getting this big old web of not so good things.
Right.
Not so good things that we should be doing and putting in our bodies and doing these other things. And that just causes more. I don't think we realize that sometimes, but that causes more stress to begin to heap up. Our job performance goes down. We now have less money than we started with because we got these habits over here trying to deal with this health-related stress and and do these things, and now we got to spend this money, and now we ain't got enough money to buy groceries, and oh gosh. And before you know it, this pile of stress is out of control.
We got no money, we ain't got no job.
It's out of control.
Yeah.
It's totally 100% at that point out of control. Cope with those things, all right? How do you cope with those things? How do you deal with those things? Don't partake in that, first of all.
Right.
Okay? Live as healthy as you can, but know the risk of doing the things that we're doing, health-wise. Sleep is part of health. Eating is part of health. Taking and putting the right things in our body is part of health.
Yeah.
That's all things that we need to make sure that we are aware of. And we do not do. We do not partake of. We're not adding to the stresses of life. What do we got to say to the people before we out
This
here
is
today?
my summary on a lot of this stuff. Either whether it's, we talked about this with work, we talked about this with financials, and I think you said this about the health. But if you've got problems or questions or concerns with any of those things, a lot of times the solution is to ask somebody.
Sure.
And so many times we're so stubborn, hard-headed know-it-alls that we won't take 2 seconds and ask somebody for help in those things.
That could really help us.
That could really help, because so many times you've had it happen to yourself before. You think about it. Sometimes you've dealt with something for so long, and finally you break down and ask somebody for advice or for help, and they tell you one thing, and you're thinking,
It's a game changer.
I never thought of that.
True.
And like it's that fast that I've changed that situation because I just asked somebody else. So many times, me and a guy was having this conversation yesterday about, we was actually talking about inmates is what we was talking about, but he said a lot of times, he was watching a show or something, they was like, if they find out that one of their family members dies, they put the inmate in isolation. And they have to stay there for 24 hours so they can monitor them. And I was thinking to myself, man, that would be like the last thing I wanted to do would be to be isolated by myself.
Sure.
Because now the only thing I've got to even think about is I'm in this room by myself.
I'm with you.
And I've just found out that a family member passed. So if you could go out and talk to people,
right?
You know what I mean, and it kind of get out of you. So what I'm saying is, a lot of times we are in our own head so much.
Sure.
We only hear our own thoughts and our own opinions that we can't see past those things.
Yes.
We think we're trapped in a shell or a bubble. But sometimes if we just take a minute and ask somebody else, they can give us a piece of advice that we're like, man, I never even thought of that.
It's not as hard as what we thought in our mind that it was.
A lot of times we make situations
we do.
a whole lot worse than they are. I'm 100% guilty. I'm guilty of that. I make things worse than what they really are.
Sure.
Sometimes you just got to get other people's opinion and other people's advice, and you're like, yeah, this ain't that bad.
Ask a pro.
Yeah.
Ask a pro. Don't
Luke
be afraid.
says he's happy to help people discuss their budgets.
Absolutely.
And again, for those of you who need help and stuff like that, that is like Luke is not charging you to call him and say, hey, man,
no,
I've got a blank whatever and I need some advice. Like,
yeah,
Luke does that.
That's what he does. That's exactly right. So again, there's a lot of that out there. Don't be afraid to do that, because literally stress, as you looked at and we talked about right off the bat, okay, 75 to 90% of all doctor's office visits are stress-related ailments. Stress can play a part in big things like headaches, high blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, skin conditions, asthma, arthritis, depression, anxiety. That's nothing to mess around with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's nothing to mess around with. We are not health experts, by the way. But we just like to have a conversation. Again, just talking life is what this show is. If we can put a little bit of information out there, somebody who may be feeling a whole lot of stress and be able to deal with it, that's what we want to do. We play doctors on a Friday show called Just Talking Life. We do real estate every single day of our lives. But we like to lead conversations, help as many people as we can. We thought with this show, with all of us putting our heads together, putting a little bit of information out there, good, positive information, by the way, maybe, just maybe, we could help someone. That's a good thing for us to do. What do you got to say
People over
before
here is
we're
asking
out?
what's Luke's phone number. I got Luke's phone number. I'm going to give it to him. 253-677-2663. 253-677-2663.
Put it in the box, sir, man.
6-3. I'm going to type it in over
Put
here
it in the box.
It's on the company page over here.
Yes, so if you're asking for that, go to Elite Realty Group on Facebook. That's where it's going to be, and that's where they're asking for it at. So we're going to put it in there for you. Again, he can help you with those kind of things. So we appreciate you guys today, man. Hopefully we've led a conversation.
Mark says family and church is the answer. That's the problem with today's society. I guess he was talking about the stress.
I could preach on that for a long time, brother. I'm 100% with you. That's a great comment. There is no doubt about that. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us today on this Friday show, October the 29th, episode 75. Just Talking Life has been presented by your friends.
Right here, Elite Realty Group.
You guys have a safe weekend, all right? Go out and enjoy yourselves. If you dress up, be careful.
Do a little trick-or-treating this weekend.
Do a little trick-or-treating. Get you a little bit of candy. Indulge in candy this weekend, okay?
What we're doing here tonight.
Just don't do it here. We're doing trunk or treat. That's what I was leading into.
Yeah.
Trunk or treat right here at the Elite Realty Group office from 5 to
What are you
7
dressing up
p.m. I'm going to dress up as you.
Oh.
I figured it would be scary when I did that right there.
True.
But again, we appreciate all. But come by 5 to 7 p.m. tonight. We're going to have some agents here out in the front doing some trunk or treat. Drive by, bring the kids by, bring your family by. Just stop by and say hello. We'll be here to hang out.
We'll throw candy at you.
Have a good time. If it's
Eggy
raining,
car,
you come
buckle up.
inside and step out with us. You know what I'm saying? We can have a conversation. We appreciate that. You guys have a great weekend. Be safe, be blessed. Don't forget us Monday morning for Wake Up Wild, motivation and inspiration to help you chase your dreams, goals, and aspirations. Be the very best version of yourself that there is. That's what we'll be talking with you Monday at 8 a.m. Again, have a wonderful weekend. Be safe, be blessed. Take a breath and breathe. Let the stress go, man. Everything's going to be okay. You got this. Y'all have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday. Over and out.